So we met at a small Christian college. It's called Roberts Wesleyan College.
We lived right by the Finger Lakes area of New York, which is home to hundreds and hundreds of wineries. And she agreed to come with me and go wine tasting one day. And so we had always wanted to move to the South, just temporarily moved to Greenville for about 3 months, just absolutely fell in love with it. They had just finished Falls Park, and I could tell the area was just gonna explode with growth. So she was living in Columbia. I was living in Greenville, got a job at Michelin as a tire design engineer. And we were bored on the couch one day and decided it'd be fun to try to make some type of alcohol. So there were so many breweries already in Greenville. So we then thought about wine. We're like, I wonder how wine is made. So let's go see if we can go do some wine tasting here. And so we get online and we're like, where the heck are all the wineries? However, we did find this one little winery called City Scape Winery about 20 minutes from our house, and it intrigued us. So little hole in the wall winery.
Nothing was there. It was just this little shack, a trailer, and grass everywhere. And this really sweet couple, Wayne and Nita Tammy, greeted us at the door and welcomed us with open arms.
And they taught us basically how to make wine pretty much start to finish. So we had started in our kitchen with that first batch of Merlot. And
made a lot of explosions.
Yeah, stained our hardwood floors so bad we had to eventually replace them.
Yep.
But about 3 months later, we had something roughly resembling wine. And after 2 or 3 glasses, some of our friends said they actually enjoyed it. We were kind of off to the races after that. Fast forward another year, we used to have this little gathering here at the winery called the Winos and Winettes. And it was just a really fun gathering where we would get together with other home winemakers. At one of these meetings, the previous owners kind of pulled us aside and they basically told us, hey, we would love to, sell this business to somebody that could carry it on, continue to, look after it and make it grow someday. And we think that you guys would be a great candidate for that. So we did sit down with them. We looked over all the numbers and, bottom line, they weren't making
any sense.
Not a whole lot of money.
So Josh's father, Carl, came down from New York and he said, did God tell you to do this? And we were like, no, I think. He said, no, did God tell you to do this? We're like, and after praying about it, we kind of knew in our hearts that God was telling us to do it. Mm-hmm. And we said, yes. And he said, well, why are you underestimating God?
So we were like, all right, well, yeah, God's telling us to do this. Let's get some more confirmation though, just to make sure. So we booked this trip out to Napa Valley, and I'll never forget, we went out to Robert Mondavi's winery and we're talking with the tasting room manager there and kind of telling her our story and how we're, 29 years old. We're thinking of buying a winery, getting into the wine industry. And she, kind of took us under her wing.
It was so impactful because she said, guys, so many whack jobs come in here and saying that they want to buy a winery, and a lot of dreamers want to buy a winery. And he's like, I always tell them and just discourage them to do it. You have to be crazy to purchase a winery. But there are only a few people that I could tell have what it takes. And I'm telling you right now, you do.
We flew back out, quit our jobs, bought the entire winery, took out as much money as we could borrow, and that was November 3rd of 2015.
Single scariest thing we've ever done.
That first year was rough. It
horrible.
Was so tough.
It was really tough. I mean, we were working at least 90 hours a week.
It was crazy. And it was a tough year. And we sat down with our accountant at the end of the year, and he said, congratulations, guys. You made $1.23 an hour for all your work this year. And that kind of hit hard because we had just invested every penny we had. Yeah. We quit these great paying jobs, left all of our health insurance benefits.
A lot of the drier, more like wine connoisseur type of wine drinkers judged us. They felt like South Carolina, we could only produce sweet wines. We could only produce the fruity, non-serious wines. So we wanted to showcase who we are, which is people who love people. We started this event, and it was called Wine and Chocolate. It was for Valentine's Day. And the whole premise was to show our love for our community. It was really beautiful.
It was amazing. People absolutely loved it, and it really opened their eyes to how beautiful food and wine, chocolate and wine can go together and complement each other. So we saw this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity was going to be passing right over our winery, the solar eclipse. And so we decided, all right, we got to go all out for this. Let's get 3 bands, 3 food trucks, 3 bars, and somehow we were going to manage all this with our staff of 3 people here. But
we got a lot of volunteers.
Yep. And I'll never forget, we put up tickets for sale on Visit Greenville's website, and they sold out in 30 minutes. And we're like
300 people, which was a lot.
And we had people come from all over, as far away as Texas, New York, Florida, all to come to our little winery out in the middle of nowhere, Pelzer, South Carolina. This gentleman, after the event was over, comes up and introduces himself to me, and he says, "Hey, my name's Richard. I'm the regional manager of Fresh Market Grocery Stores, and I've been looking for a wine for the last 5 years that's made here in South Carolina that I can be proud enough to put on our store shelves. And today I think I finally found it." And that was just a huge turning point for us. That meant we would have the investment to really go from being this small little country winery to really becoming a real winery. And then the phone after that just would not stop ringing. We were getting calls from Total Wine and Fresh Market and Lowe's Foods and all these different stores. Even some restaurants in the area were starting to call us and say, "Hey, we got to get this new City Scape wine on our menu. This stuff's amazing, and it's made right here in Greenville County." I cannot believe that. They were absolutely shocked.
So cool.
The year before, we did about 15,000 bottles. That next year, we did over 33,000 bottles. And it was just like this switch just triggered, and we were just on a wild ride from there on out.
As we were growing, we really felt in our heart and our spirit that it was time to start expanding or thinking about an expansion.
Long story short, it passed unanimously from County Council, and we started getting bids for construction that next year. We opened up this building February 2nd of 2022 and dedicated it to the Lord, and it's been amazing.
3, 2, 1.
It's taught us how to believe, how to just be grounded and trust in the Lord. And the Lord just remains faithful. And good.
It's just amazing to think how a little winery out in the little town of Pelzer, South Carolina, started with 3 people. Now we're producing over 100,000 bottles of wine per year, and we're in 75 different stores and restaurants all throughout the state of South Carolina. So it's been truly incredible and humbling.
Yeah.